Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about how to be in the energy of where you are going in life, rather than staying in the energy of where you have been or where you are currently. So when you want to make an upgrade, make a shift, elevate yourself or your life in one way or another, energy is huge. Now, you may have heard people talk about energy in the coaching space, spiritual space, self-help space. And for some of you who have been doing self-growth work for a while, you might know exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about energy or your energetic state, right? But for others, if you hear people talking about energy and you're just like, what is that? I wanted to quickly go over what exactly energy is and how I personally define energy before we get into how you actually shift it, okay? Okay, so how I define energy is how I show up each day, how I show up in the world. That's my energy. It's really that. It's that simple. How I show up in the world, how you show up in the world is your energy. That is your energetic state, right? Now, some people define this as vibration, right? So you're either like in a positive vibe, a negative vibe, or your high vibe, or your low vibe. Now, I see this all as energy still, right? It's just how you show up in the world. If you're high vibe, you're showing up in a really high energetic way, right? If you're really low vibe, you're showing up in a really low energy, really negative way to the world around you. Hello, you should say hi quick. Okay, so in my opinion, your energy, when it comes to your energy, your emotional state is really the crux of it all, right? So how you feel determines your energy. It determines how you show up in the world. Your emotions are insanely powerful and they have a massive impact on this concept of energy, okay? So part of the reason emotions are so powerful is that they have the power to just overcome you in an instant, right? Or we have the ability to shift in between one energetic or one emotional state to another emotional state so fast. So a really easy example of this is think about a time you were really cut off in traffic, right? So before you were cut off, you might have been listening to your favorite music, you might have been in a really good mood, really high vibe, right? And then someone cuts you off and all of a sudden, in literally an instant, you can snap into a state of frustration, a state of anger, right? It seems so fast that you were in this really awesome, positive space to boom, shifting to a really negative emotion. And that's how emotions work. They happen and shift so fast. And they're always in flux, but they have such an impact over you. So emotions affect you on multiple levels. So emotions, yes, can affect you, mentally, internally, but they also affect you externally because there's a physicality to emotions, right? You feel your emotional states. So your emotional state may affect how you're thinking, what's going on internally, how you're feeling about yourself, your life, but then you also feel emotions physically in your body, right? You may feel stress in your chest, or when you're nervous, you start sweating. So it's really interesting. Emotions affect you on these multiple levels because you experience them internally in a way, but you also experiencing them externally because they have a physicality to them. And then also down onto that, emotional states are really contagious. So we tend to absorb the emotional states of those around us. So you've probably experienced this, right? Like say your friend or your spouse is really angry and they're telling you about how bad their day was or something. And then all of a sudden you start feeling that, right? You start feeling angry for them, or you start feeling frustrated or stressed, whatever it is. Emotional states are contagious. All right, so you get the point. Emotions are massively powerful and they really, really affect your energy. They affect how you show up in the world. But now let's get to what really matters. How do you shift your energetic state? How do you get from where you are to where you want to be? How do you shift from being in the energy of your current reality to being in the energy of where you want to be, of where you're headed, of where you're going? So if you stay in the energy of your current self or even your past self, the version of yourself who has created your current life, your current reality, then you're going to keep creating more of the same, right? Because that energy, the energy of your current self, of your past self, has created your current reality. So if you stay in that energy, you'll just keep creating more of the same over and over again on repeat. Or the other option is to embody the energy of where you are going in life, of where you want to be. And once you do that, you will snap yourself into alignment with that new desired elevated reality. So your current energetic state has created your current life. So if you want to change something, shift something, elevate something, upgrade something about your life, you need to first shift your energy to be in alignment with that desired shift. So how I like to think about this is that your current energy is not designed for, it is not equipped, it is not ready to create or support what you are now desiring, right? So your current energy is designed to create your current reality. It is not prepared for, it is not equipped for whatever change or shift you want to make in your life. It's not equipped to deal with that upgraded reality. So you can try to force your way, right? You can try to force your way to where you want to be without changing your energetic state. But all you're going to do is run into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Because until you shift your energy to be a match for what you actually want to create, for where you're going in life, you're not ready for it. You're not prepared for it. You're not equipped for it. You're not able to create it. So you need to first shift your energetic state to be in alignment with where you're desiring to go. Then you're able to receive, do, be, or have what you want in your life because you are an energetic match. You have shifted who you are showing up as to be in alignment with this new reality that you're desiring. So I can't tell you the amount of times I've had clients say, okay, Kate, I just can't seem to get where I'm going. So what do I need to do differently? What action do I need to take differently? And I always tell them, you need to upgrade your energy. You need to shift your energy. And they're like, no. What do I need to do? What action, what habit, what thing do I need to physically do to change to get to where I'm going? And I always tell them, no. It's all about your energy. It's really an internal job before you can expect your external circumstances to change. You know, I like to tell my clients, you have to do the internal work first before you can reap the rewards of the external results. And that's what we're doing here. Okay, so let's get to the important part. How do you shift your energy? How do you shift from the energy of where you are now to the energy of where you want to be? So I teach something that I call the intentional creation formula, and it's all based on cognitive behavioral therapy. And the concept is that your thoughts create your emotions drive your actions, and then your actions create the results in your life. So your thoughts, emotions, and actions add up to create your life. So when I'm thinking about energy, I like to think about energy being split up into these three categories, right? Your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. Because those three things create your life, and those three things determine how you show up in the world. And remember, that is your energetic state. So if you shift these three things, your thoughts, emotions, actions, you shift your energetic state. So if you shift the thoughts you're thinking, then you're going to shift how you're showing up in the world, right? If you shift how you feel, you completely change how you show up. And if you shift the actions you're taking, then you're going to change how you're showing up in the world, right? Because you're thinking differently, you're feeling differently, you're acting differently. And when you interrupt that cycle, you begin to shift your energetic state. You shift your energy. So if you want to shift into the energy of where you want to be, I want you to think of who is the version of yourself who already has this desire, who's already where you want to be, right? So think of that end goal. What is it? Is it a place? Is it a result? Think of where you want to be. And then think about the version of yourself who's already there. What thoughts does she think? What emotions does she feel? What actions does she take? And if you can figure out those things, you can start to shift your thoughts, shift your emotions, shift your actions to be in alignment with that version of yourself who already has what you desire. So you shift out of the thoughts of your current reality into the thoughts of your desired reality. You shift out of the emotions of your current reality into the emotions of your desired reality. You shift out of the actions of your current reality, the actions that have been creating your current reality on repeat over and over again, day in and day out. And you shift into the actions of the version of yourself who already has what you desire in that elevated reality. Now, I know sometimes actions are where we get the most hung up in this place, right? Because You're like, well, if I knew what to do, I'd already be there. Now, like we talked about before, you can't just force your way to where you're going through new actions. You have to shift your entire energetic state, which includes your thoughts, emotions, and your actions. So if you're really not sure what actions it's going to take to get to where you're going, first start with your thoughts and emotions. So think about, well, how does this version of myself think? How does this version of myself feel? And I promise you that when you update, when you upgrade your internal state, when you uplevel your thoughts and uplevel your emotions, you are going to start acting differently. Now, another thing to really consider is don't think about what actions is it going to take to get there. Think about what actions am I taking once I am there. So it's the thoughts you're thinking, the emotions you're feeling, and the actions you're taking once you're there. So don't think about from here to there, right? What's in between. Just think about your end result. Because the thing is that if you start thinking those thoughts, feeling those emotions, and taking the actions of the version of yourself who already has what you want, you are going to become into alignment. You are going to shift from here to there without you even realizing it. So you kind of forget about how you get from here to there. You just embody the there, and you will get there naturally. It will happen with flow and ease. It's when we're trying so hard to figure out how to get to where we want to be that we start forcing, right? And we don't think about doing the internal work, doing the work to upgrade your energy first so that you're even in alignment or prepared for what you actually desire. So really think about this. Go through, okay, what thoughts do I think when I have what I want? Maybe it's, I am so grateful that I live in my dream house. I am so grateful that I have an influx of clients. I am so grateful that I have, found my match, right? Shifting into a place of gratitude is a great place to kind of embody those thoughts, right? Think of all the things you're grateful for, right? How does this version of yourself think? Maybe you think, I am the confident creator of my life. I am in control. I am enough. Really, really think about the thoughts that are running through your head. I always know the next step. I can see my vision with clarity. I know how this is all going to work out. I know everything's working out in my favor, right? What are the kinds of thoughts? Now, a lot of those are very general, but really think about specific thoughts too. Think about your specific desire and what thoughts that version of yourself already thinking when she already has the result, okay? And the same goes with emotions. Remember, emotions are so powerful because if you're feeling stuck, odds are you're feeling some level of heaviness, of negativity. If you can just shift out of that negative state into a more positive state, you immediately shift your energetic state, okay? So if you can just shift out of I'm stuck, I don't know how to get where I'm going, into, okay, I am in control, I am confident, I know where I'm headed, I know where I want to be, right? If you can shift into a more positive place. Like I said, gratitude's always a great place to start too. If you can shift out of being upset about the things you don't have or the things you don't have yet, but instead being grateful for the things you do have, and then being grateful ahead of time for the things you want to create, that immediately shifts how you feel, right? So really focus on shifting that energy into the energy of who you are when you already have what you want. Maybe that version of yourself is relieved. Maybe they're calm, right? Maybe right now you're stressed, but that version of yourself is calm, right? So really, really embody those emotions. And then, like I said, I think actions really come naturally. When you start to think new thoughts, feel new emotions, you will naturally start to do things differently in your life. And you may not even realize it at first, right? You're going to start taking different micro actions that really make a massive impact. And it's those little baby steps, those little shifts that you make that slowly but surely snap you into alignment with where you want to go. So if you want to shift your energy from where you are to where you want to be, focus on these three things: your thoughts, emotions, actions. So remember that when you shift even just one, like say you just start feeling differently, you automatically interrupt the current cycle that you're in. Because whether you realize it or not, you're thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and taking the same actions for the most part, subconsciously, automatically, in the background without realizing it day in and day out. So if you just interrupt even one of those, if you just start choosing to feel differently, choosing to think differently, choosing to act differently, you interrupt the cycle that you feel stuck within. And once you interrupt it, you start creating a new cycle. And with every shift you make, with every new thought you think, new emotion you feel, new action you take, you are shifting the cycle to be more and more in alignment with where you want to be in life. So remember, be in the energy of where you want to be in life rather than the energy of where you are currently. Step into that elevated energetic state, and then creating what you want, getting to where you want to be, becomes more easeful. You take the forcefulness out of it. But if you try to just race to where you want to be without first upgrading your energy, without first shifting who you are showing up as to be in alignment with that reality, to be prepared for, to be ready for, to be equipped to create and handle that new reality. If you try to just force your way there before doing this work, you're going to keep running into roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. But if you do this work, if you take the time to do this work first, then you can shift to where you want to be with more ease and flow. All right, so if you guys want to dig into concepts similar to this, then I highly recommend checking out one of my new videos, which is all about really the process of letting your current self die off so that you can become your next level self. It really talks about similar concepts and really digs into this idea more of kind of letting go of who you have been in order to become who you are meant to be, or to become the version of yourself who is able to do, be, have, or create what you want in your life. All right, I will see you guys next time.